Thank you for that. I want to go to Congressman Mike McCaul right now, the House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman. Chairman, always good to see you. You know, you've had a chance, of course, you've been at Taiwan and you've been meeting with leaders there. And that, of course, prompted, you know, among other things, this China response to encircle the island. And it's only now just starting to ease up a little bit. But what these gentlemen are talking about at the State Department is something potentially more immediately ominous, these revelations that have been leaked out. What do you think of what you've heard?
Very damaging to the United States and our allies, essentially given the roadmap, if you will, to our strategy in Ukraine against Russia. Whoever did this, in my judgment, is guilty of espionage by giving away our secrets, which will only empower and embolden Chairman Xi in China and Putin in Russia. And just having gotten back from Taiwan, we were circled by, 10 battleships, an aircraft carrier, and 70 fighter jets. It's very serious. And it's really going to hurt Ukraine, which is very sad. As they're building their counteroffensive in the springtime, they're really giving the roadmap to our foreign adversaries. This is one of the worst leaks I've seen in terms of espionage, and I hope we can get to the bottom of it.
You know, Chairman, it will fuel the anger of some of your colleagues who have said, enough with giving so much money to Ukraine. And I'm wondering, forget about where it came from, whether they could be the source, it's hard to say, but that this will reignite that talk, that it's not worth it. Do you fear that will be the case?
Yeah. I do fear that. As General Keane mentioned, he and I have been very focused on a Ukraine victory, which, by the way, when I was in Asia, that's the #1 deterrence against Chairman Xi invading Taiwan, is if Ukraine is successful. And what this leak does is it undermines the confidence there, and it undermines this administration and what they are doing in this conflict in Ukraine. And quite honestly, I've been critical of how the administration has handled this from a military standpoint, not giving them everything they need for victory, just enough for survival. This leak only undermines their cause, undermines the cause of freedom and democracy. It undermines, the cause of deterrence of Chairman Xi invading Taiwan. It's all interconnected, and this leak is going to cause enormous damage to our foreign relations and our foreign policy.
It occurs at a time where we're looking at the Middle East in general, sir, about who our friends are. Of course, even before these leaks became apparent, along came China brokering a sort of a friendship agreement, if you will, between Saudi Arabia and Iran, of all characters. And now we get these revelations that United Arab Emirates and Egypt might be helping Russia with the billions that we give them. It was a shocker, if true. What do you make of it?
I think when we don't lead the United States of America, when we're absent, our adversaries fill the void. And that's precisely what happened in the Middle East. This administration has not followed up on the Abraham Accords. They have offended UAE by not acknowledging the Houthi rebel attack on them. They called Saudi a pariah. And guess what? China's moving in, and they're becoming the peace broker, if you will. The idea that Macron, our oldest ally of France, is in Beijing meeting with Chairman Xi at the same time I'm with President Tsai in Taiwan greatly undermines our foreign policy.
Well, he went even further,
also
but he went even
States
further, right? I mean, he was saying, we're talking about Emmanuel Macron,
yep,
that this issue with China over Taiwan, that's a U.S. issue. I'm paraphrasing here. But do you think that feeling is felt in other European capitals as well? He just blurted it out?
I think he's politically desperate back home, but it doesn't help when you have a NATO ally throwing you under the bus and also saying that while we're saying the United States supports Taiwan, he's saying just the opposite.
Yeah.
That's a real slap in the face from our oldest ally, going back to Lafayette and the Revolutionary War, and it's very sad to see him do this. And at the same time, this leak, the document leaks comes out. I'm afraid this administration, we talked a lot about leading from behind under the Obama administration. We're going back to that. And again, that invites aggression. Weakness always invites aggression. War, strength always, peace. And that's what we need to do with Taiwan. Unfortunately, I worry the administration has already blown our intense efforts in Ukraine by not projecting strength.
But Chairman, I know you have to go, sir, but this is a little further than that, right? I mean, we might be offended by them not following a policy or what have you, but this goes one step further to backstab us. If it's true what the UAE and Egypt are thought to have done with the revelation of these documents, they snookered us. They backstabbed us. What should we do if that is truly the case?
Well, I think we're going to have to do a serious deep dive into our relationships with these countries. And are these documents real?
Do you have your doubts?
I will be in the classified space
as to whether they're real or not?
If they are, we shouldn't be selling them weapons, for starters. And when you're looking at foreign assistance, anybody that throws us under the bus, and if they're not a friend, they're not an ally, they're an enemy, for God's sakes, we shouldn't be helping them out. But I don't know all the facts, Neil, and I don't want to make a declaratory statement on this until I have a chance to read these documents. But we will be, looking at this very closely.
Chairman McCaul, thank you very much, sir. I want to return to the State Department now, where Defense Secretary Austin is addressing